should I leave it alone?
Up for you. Cool, we're live. Cool, I can see on the YouTube channel that we're live.
So when is the actual event?
It is starting now.
Okay.
All right. So we're live. Cool, I can see on the YouTube. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So welcome everyone to this discussion on launch event. So Professor Raksha will be joining very soon, and pardon me for my bad hairstyle, and thanks to the COVID that we are not able to get a proper haircut. And all right, so welcome to this discussion on the PG certificate launch. So we will go over briefly about the background of the faculty members of this course, and then we will also talk about IIT Roorkee. We'll talk about briefly about the Cloudex Lab, and then we will talk about why the course is important and what will the course comprise of. In the meantime, I will basically talk about the typical process of the machine learning, how it goes in the industry, and then a bit of career in this line. Also, we will discuss the course content and so on. All right. So wonderful to have all of you in this discussion. Professor Raksha will be joining in a couple of minutes. She's running a bit late. She is stuck in some personal emergency. And yeah, that's about it. And we would let's go ahead with the discussion. I'll be sharing my screen. And all right, she had joined already. Wonderful. Okay, so let me share my screen and okay. All right, everyone. So
hi Sandeep, it's not started till yet, no?
yeah, it is live. It is live. There are people on YouTube. So we have Makhan Virdi and Professor Raksha and myself, and the others will also be joining very soon. And so again, welcome to the launch event of Executive PG Certificate course by IIT Roorkee. And this is the agenda that I was talking about. We'll talk about IIT Roorkee, about Cloudex Lab, course overviews, and we also will answer your questions along with we'll give you an overview of how does like what happens in industry, and that should be sufficient. All right. So I mean, I want to start with different manner. I want to start with introduction of faculty members. All right. All right, Professor Raksha, would you? I want to introduce Professor Raksha, who basically has her PhD in machine learning, especially the deep learning, and she has a wonderful experience of teaching many people, as well as has published papers in the machine learning. Professor Raksha, please go ahead about your introduction.
Yeah, hello everyone. So this course is having a vast coverage of most of the application-oriented topics, including image processing data set or text processing data set or data mining kind of data set. So it's very well designed course with different types of data sets, and with respect to the data sets and the algorithms, we have designed the project so that you can get hands-on of all types of applications. So it's a very long and elaborative course, hoping that all the critical concepts should be covered, and you can directly use them in your professional environment or academic environment. Okay, so good luck for the course, and we will keep on interacting during the course duration. So I will be the instructor for many lectures in the course, along with other speakers, other faculties, and we will be having interactive sessions also, and there are recorded videos also on few concepts, and yeah, hoping to interact with you soon.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Could you also give a brief background? That'd be great about yourself.
Sorry, can you please come again?
Yeah, so it would be, I wanted to ask you about your introduction, your background as well.
Okay. All right. So I'm assistant professor in computer science department of IIT Roorkee. I joined IIT Roorkee in January 2019, and before that, before joining IIT Roorkee, I was a research scientist in Tata Research Design and Development Labs in Pune. And there I worked for 1.5 years, and I did my PhD from IIT Bombay in 2017. And yeah, my MTech Masters is from Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, that is IIITM Gwalior. Yeah, so my background is completely computer science.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Aksha. And I want to introduce Makhan Virdi as well. So Makhan has been, closely in touch with us since the beginning of Cloudex Lab, and he has been, he has been continuously helping us with various things. And Makhan is a very hands-on engineer who has been working with NASA. And go ahead, Makhan, you can introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Sandeep, and good to meet you, Raksha. Great getting your introduction and background. I'm Makhan Virdi. I'm currently a senior research scientist with NASA's Langley Research Center. My focus currently is on atmospheric science data. And for the past couple of years, I've been getting more involved with using artificial intelligence and machine learning for interpreting satellite imagery and its generic wider applications to Earth science data. And my background is I have a PhD from University of South Florida, and my topic was dealing with computer modeling and simulation of groundwater resources. So I graduated with a bachelor's from IIT Roorkee back in 2004. So I have a civil engineering background, and I slowly moved to water resources, geography, GIS, and then groundwater modeling, watershed modeling. And now I deal mostly with the atmospheric science data. So I'm looking forward to this program, and in whatever way I can help. And probably my focus will be mostly on machine learning and artificial intelligence and its applications in Earth science data, and how we can use it to make sense out of the satellite imagery and help the planet in some ways. Thank you.
Makhan, could you tell a bit about this recent, I heard about your recent Kaggle project, the one that yours was on #1 on Kaggle.
Yes. So I'm currently a contractor with Science Systems and Applications Incorporated. It's a It's a 40-year-old company, and we have lots of contracts from different government organizations. So the company recently organized AI ML program or a competition where they provided us with two different problems. One was related to watershed hydrology, that was predicting discharge in the rivers, and predict flooding of different areas based on the meteorological variables and the flow parameters from observed from the rivers. And the second problem was using LiDAR data and to detect land cover for different areas. So we were provided with a bunch of images from different satellites, and we were supposed to predict, not predict, but actually categorize or classify the imagery into different land covers. So so I was able to use some of the techniques of machine learning training, and I consulted with Sandeep a lot on those problems and what's the best approach to handle those things. So I was able to win the Kaggle competition with the first prediction with a good margin, using the techniques that I learned over the past couple of years, I would say. So that was really.
So you mainly were using Piana and combined with other techniques, right? The advanced.
Sorry.
Deep. You were basically using the deep convolution neural networks, right?
Yes, I was using the convolution neural network, and I ended up using the UNet framework for doing the classification. I did play around with a few other networks also, but for the problem that I had, the best results came from using the UNet convolution neural networks.
Is it for this meteorological data set? Did you observe that it is more location specific? If we change or merge the data set from different location, then model won't be able to behave in a certain manner.
So we used some historical data for some of the watersheds. If you're available, if you're if you're more conversant with the concept of watershed hydrology. So watershed is an area that flows into a single point in the river, and then that river goes and contribute. We have contribution areas from different landscapes, and they have these gauging stations at the outlets of those watersheds. So everything from that watershed flows into the river at that single point, and they have observation stations. In the US, they have US Geological Survey. They monitor these contributing points from these watersheds. And the data that we had came from a data set called Basins, BASINS. It's gathered by an organization in the US in Colorado. It's called UCAR, UCAR. And they had that data, but the actual application, Google did something similar in India, because we don't have observation stations in India. So what they did was they just took the meteorological data, which is rainfall, temperature, the evapotranspiration demand and things like that, and calculated the stress in different watersheds, and then try to predict from that whether or not some areas in Eastern India and also in Bihar and Odisha, whether it will flood or not, because we don't have that wide network of observing stations in India. So I can send you the paper also.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, Raksha, you were saying something. Right?
So yeah, so I just wanted to add in Markhan's work. So so we are also having a project here in IIT Roorkee on hydrology, this renewable energy data set. So we are having weather data set like humidity record, temperature record, and the previous history record. So, but what is the observation that the model is not working if we are changing the geographical location? So the data, the model which we have trained on the data which is collected from one station, that particular model is not going to work if we change even if we go 100 kilometers beyond. For example, currently we are working with a station in Uttarakhand. If we change the state, then model is not performing well. So we are supposed to take this thing that all the parameters are changing the properties as per the location. So we need to first develop models locally, and then we can have a central system to probably combine or just find out the similarity between the locations, and then do the prediction based on from where the input is coming. So location is playing a major role, and we need to set up different stations also. So hardware cost is also, a lot of hardware cost is also there because of the change in the parameters values due to location change. So, I was asking, was this a parameter in the data set which you have
Yes.
used?
So we can definitely talk at length about this in different meeting also, but I'll give you just a basic overview. So all these watersheds, they have these properties that are tied to that land, the terrain, the slope, and how much sunshine falls at that specific slope, and the vegetation of that area, and all that information you don't need to gather. You can get that from satellite imagery. There is a lot of open source data that you can use to characterize that specific watershed. So once you have that, then you can just use the meteorological data to do the prediction, but that has to be one of the variables. So that's a simple answer, I think, for now.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is just wonderful discussion, because it's just a very good observation. I think that everybody would connect to that. As of today, whether it's hydrology or renewable energy, civil engineering, or any other subject of subject of human sciences, everywhere the highest end, the highest end of engineering is actually overlapping with machine learning and AI. And that's what is a wonderful thing about this course, that we realized that there were people who I interacted recently who are from, say, economics background, they are biologists, and so on. And everywhere there is a demand and the need of machine learning and deep learning experts. Today, I was talking to one of my friends at IIT Bombay, who basically is into mechanical engineering. So for observing the crystal structure, for predicting the strength of a crystal structure, he is using the deep neural network model, and I was consulting with him. So that's a world. I mean, similar thing. What has happened is, like, if you take a look at the way Amazon's teams were there, like Google's teams were there. If Venkat would have joined, he could have given a better picture. So earlier there used to be these separate teams. There's this team on just trends prediction, analytics prediction. Then there was team for YouTube video analysis. There was a separate team for audio analysis. There was a separate team for image analysis. And as of today, all of these teams have merged into a single domain, machine learning and the AI, which is Google Brain team. And that's a thing that Google was a first mover into this. Then Amazon also did the same. Uber also did the same. And most of the top tech companies realized the flow, and even like Walmart's did the same. Instead of having separate divisions of engineering, because everywhere there was this big chunk of knowledge that needs to be learned was AI and machine learning. And so in case of like this IIT Bombay friend I'm talking about, so we wanted to hire some of the PhD students, and we hired them so that they can work on a couple of problems. But then it took us 6 months or 7 months of just educating them into AI machine learning. So that became a big bottleneck even in mechanical engineering PhD grads. So I think this is where this course comes into play, and it essentially it essentially makes people ready from various backgrounds. Let me walk you through today's overall agenda. And basically, the IIT Roorkee, Professor, actually, you want to say, talk about this a bit more?
Okay.
We both are, me and Makhan, both are from IIT Roorkee. And
you please go ahead. We all are, in fact, you are alumni of IIT Roorkee. You are more connected. Yeah, please go ahead.
Makhan, what do you want to say? You will know a little bit more than this, right?
About?
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. You mean about IIT Roorkee?
Yes.
So you're the senior one. You should probably go first. So I was there from 2000 to 2004. Did my bachelor's. I was civil engineering department, but I had a professor, Dr. Manoj Arora, who taught us computer programming in C++ in first year, I think. And so I got hooked to computer engineering very early on. So that's one thing I loved about IIT Roorkee. Like you could just find your passion, then stick with it, and you don't really have to worry about like the rest of the coursework. I was a civil engineer, but most of my projects, most of my work, most of my hangout time was all in other departments with other professors. And then we also had IMG, Information Management Group. So I was lucky enough to be chosen by Sandeep Giri sir to be part of that IMG. And so IMG was the organization, you might be familiar with that kind of takes care of the internal internet, intranet resources and develops the IIT website and things like that. So it was just a new organization back then. So I learned a lot from my time at IMG Lab from Sandeep Giri sir and all others who were part of IMG. Spent 4 years there. 4 years were not enough. So I was selected for L&T, Larsen and Toubro, as a civil engineer, but I had that programmer inside me that was not like really happy with the civil engineering work at L&T. So I left that and I came back to IIT Roorkee actually. I worked with that Dr. Arora on a Department of Defense project for doing some sort of like a prediction for where the safest and shortest routes would be in the Himalayan region. So that was the Department of Defense and funded project for creating those roads in the Himalayas. And we were supposed to find the shortest and the safest route that kind of avoids all the landslide prone areas and all the high slope areas, and then give you the safest and the shortest route using a modification of Dijkstra's algorithm back in the days 2004 and stuff. So I spent more than 4 years at IIT Roorkee, a little more than that, doing that research. And then I came to the US. Yeah.
So IIT Roorkee is oldest technical institution in Asia. I mean, second oldest, actually, there is one more, but not that much known. So it was established in 1847. And basically, it offers a bachelor degree in 11 departments and postgraduate degrees in 55 disciplines. And there are 22 departments with well-equipped lab infrastructure and a central library. So every year, students from more than 50 countries join IIT Roorkee for full-time or short-term training courses. Now, because of these courses that we are running, PG certificate course especially, this number of countries will go to probably 100 countries now. Okay, because the number of candidates across the globe who are signing up for the courses is just very interesting, which we had never expected. So similarly, these courses are with a department called Continuing Education, the executive education of IIT Roorkee. And executive education essentially is the integral part of the IIT Roorkee. It was basically for training the people from industry. And that's where our PG certificate courses will be signed by the CEC department. So it's an integral part, like the core part of IIT Roorkee. And as part of IIT Roorkee's program, they have decided to go a little bigger on the executive courses, just on the lines of IIMs and other institutions like Harvard and Stanford. We are also, IIT Roorkee is also going full, aggressive with respect to the executive courses. And IIT Roorkee is first among the IIT in citation per faculty, and basically it's sixth among engineering college in NIRF 2020, and it's basically amongst top 10, right, and in the citation per faculty in 2021 in the world university ranking. And it's 83rd in Asian university ranking from Times Higher Education, and 9th in overall NIRF ranking. All right. So basically, the top technologies likely to be adopted by globally by 2020 is AI and machine learning is going to be one of the top. And the big data analytics is one of the parts, and machine learning is also, you can see, is going to be pretty big. I mean, this is a little bit older report, but the truth is that almost every area of human life, human sciences, is going to be impacted and is already impacted into a very large extent. So with respect to the AI. And you can see globally, the AI and big data demand has gone up drastically. And the demand of hands-on engineers, hands-on research scientists is growing at a very fast pace. And with respect to, I'll just give you a brief about the Cloudex Lab vision. Our vision is to provide a platform for the institutions like IIT Roorkee, and we have launched with Intel as well. It's provide a platform for upskilling engineers and IT professionals in deep technologies. And the main focus is, our main focus is to prepare people to solve real industry problems. And for that, we provide a very, very interesting environment. On the left-hand side, you will find the theory. On the right-hand side will be the playground. And when you submit your answer, it will check whether you have done it or not. And it'll give you a feedback on what you are doing wrong, along with a detailed message, the detailed error message that we are expecting this, but you have done this. And on top of it, we provide a dedicated lab where you have all the technologies available on the cloud so that you don't have to worry about installing anything. And this has, as of now, when you want to entertain yourself, there is so many content available on the click of mouse or a tap of a button on your phone. But when it comes to education, it takes probably like 20 days to set up your machine to get ready. But that's exactly the problem we are trying to solve, so that, learning Python, you don't need to install everything. You can just go to our cloud and get started. And that's one thing that we want to, provide, that a lab on the cloud available anytime from anywhere in the world, and for everybody. So it provides a real world experience, as in there are many technologies that you really can't install on your machine. Say, for example, Hadoop Spark, and we have provided a full cluster there. And it provides a seamless experience, and there's a central database, like the entire data sets are centrally located, so that you don't need to copy, upload, and transfer the files. And it's available from any device, anywhere. So on top of it, what we do is based on your work, you keep on getting these points, and you basically keep on building your social profile, and that helps you get better job offers. And we provide a discussion forum. There are like below this one here on the left hand side, this side below this, you will find the comment section. Lots of people keep on asking questions, answering each other's questions, so you always instantaneously get the response to your query. Similarly, we have a discussion forum where like our team as well as the other learners keep on answering. On top of it, we have a job portal, and then we have launched something called placement eligibility tests. After this course, you will have to go through placement eligibility test, and based on your performance in placement eligibility, we will connect you to the various recruiters. So if you do well in the course, then you will be able to do well in the placement eligibility test, and thereby get a job and rise in your career. So we have a dedicated partners when it comes to the job, and just that we need to vet, we need to filter or screen the candidates before we forward the CVs to our partners. All right. So this is an executive PG certificate program by IIT Roorkee, and they are going to be instructor. They will be taking their own chapters, and basically these are the few key highlights of the course. Like the batch is starting on 7th of November. It's a 12-month blended training program, and there are going to be more than actually 25 plus projects actually in the whole course, and we might be adding more projects, but they'll be optional. So it's a 360 days program, so we are providing the lab for that duration, and there will be a 1-week immersion program at IIT Roorkee, and there'll be lifetime access to the course material, and PG certificate from IIT Roorkee will be provided, and scholarship like the women in technology, people who are right now not employed, for them there are scholarships. Okay, so there are essentially 3 programs in parallel. One is PG certificate in data science. This one is basically this one is the I'll give you an easier way to think about it. There are 3 courses. This one is the AI course. So there is a PG in data science, PG in AI, and PG in MLOps. So in all of these, the machine learning course is common. Up to machine learning is common everywhere in all of these, right? And also basics of the artificial neural network, the foundations of deep learning will be provided in all the 3 courses. Now, after this, those who are more interested in going to deep learning and AI, they can go for the advanced deep learning. Okay. And those who are more interested in data engineering, they can go ahead with the big data part. So in this, big data is the specialization, like the data engineering. Here, the deep learning is the specialization. Here, the DevOps is the specialization. Okay, so it is up to your career and up to your interest which one you want to pick. So if you are, let's say, you are in non-computer science, right? Non-computer science job, and you are looking for, let's say, apply deep learning in your research work or in your project in robotics. Probably I would say that go with the PG in AI. This is the machine learning and deep learning. It's the AI one. And if you are interested, if you are a little senior engineer in working somewhere, and you want to learn how to deploy the machine learning at the scale and how to process data at the scale, go for the PG in data science. If you are somebody who is, handling the production environment and knows more about, scaling and how how to deploy. In those cases, I think the PG certificate in MLOps will be more suitable for you. So this is essentially the machine learning plus DevOps. Okay, and so this is the right. This is the overview. So there are a few seats left, and the batch starts on November 7th. And these are weekend classes, and there is zero cost EMI, and the program fees is also mentioned on the website. The website will be a better way to look at the price. And let me see if there are any questions. Please feel free to ask if you have any questions using the comment section on the YouTube. So please feel free to ask a question using the comment section. All right. All right. So right now there are no questions as such. So we'll proceed ahead. So usually I'll just give you a brief overview about the industry perspective. So the first phase of most of the production or most of the real world project is gathering data. For gathering data, you might use the big databases like the NoSQL databases, or you could use the NoSQL database such as HBase, MongoDB, and so on. Or if you are gathering the data in files, you could use HDFS. Or if your data is continuous coming from the production, it might be going to Kafka. So this is where the understanding of your data engineering or big data comes into play. Then once you have the data gathered and you would like to clean it, or you would like to, let's say, filter certain data, you would like to go with probably Spark, RDD, or Spark data frames, or the MapReduce. That's the basic cleaning of the data. Let's say you have server logs stored in HDFS, and you would like to just pick the data only for few countries and translate into something like a tabular structure. So for that, you will do the cleaning. After that, you will probably do the basic analytics, such as find out the users in this area, find out the users in that area, or that kind of thing. So that's basically can be done with Spark, SQL, and Hive. So you can see that in this portion, it's basically the data engineering, the big data that is coming into play. This is data engineering. After that, you would basically, once you have your data in a pretty structured format, then you would like to, your company might like to apply, or your teams would like to apply, or you yourself would like to apply the ML algorithm, such as, do certain amount of prediction. For that, you could use scikit-learn, you could use the GraphXR or MLlib. So this is where your understanding of machine learning comes into play. Your end-to-end project, how would you build an end-to-end project? And then once you are through with building your basic flow and the end-to-end project is giving you certain amount of accuracy, then comes the next part, right? Optimizing your ML algorithms, how to tweak your ML algorithms, or if you are solving a problem which requires a bit of more detailed analysis, or it's a custom problem, which is like you might have to come up with a better objective function and so on. And that part, you would need to have a detailed understanding of the machine learning algorithms. Afterward, and this part also further, one more thing, that once you have hit a dead end, that I'm not able to improve this, or there are complex data sets, in those cases, you would like to go for deep learning. This is where the deep learning also comes into play. And this is done using TensorFlow and the usual scikit-learn and so on. After that, to move to production, this is where the MLOps come into play. When you want to expose the REST API so that people can access your model and use it, like somebody is building a mobile app and they want to use your SDK, this is where the MLOps comes into play. So this is DevOps, this is deep learning, this is ML, machine learning, and this is data engineering. So if you see that all the three things that we are launching, the most, the heart of it is the machine learning. All right. And the data science jobs have increased, and same is the AI jobs, and it's going it's going to increase further. So right, and same is like the AI ML jobs are resilient because they are going to be there in every industry. All right, so you look at the funding, you look at the jobs, look at the automotive market, look at the global growth. The AI is dominating and will dominate in the entire thing. So that's pretty much about the discussion for today. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask. A question from there are like one question. Fees is too high. Yes, that's a good point. Fees is too high, but the course is of 1 year, and if you amortize it over 12 months, it's not that high. Okay, and it's a PG certificate, and along with this, you're getting the live lectures, you're getting the recorded content, you're getting the exercises, you are getting the lab. And so I think this would be the least costly course if you compare the other PG certificate courses in the industry. All right. So the other question is, will there be any live session? What's the process to get our questions clarified during the program? Good question. Thank you, Ashwin. So every weekend, there's going to be the Q&A session with either Professor Aksha, myself, or Makhan, or ML Birdi, or Venkat, or Praveen, or Abhinav. So there will be the Q&A sessions by IIT Roorkee professors and the industry experts. And basically, right, so you every week, the best way to utilize this course is that finish all the material that is the plan. Like every week, there'll be the plan for that week. So finish that and get ready for the question answers in the weekend. So you, instead of the faculty member teaching you or repeating the same thing over and over, the best way would be that you utilize their time, those contact hours, in order to get your doubts cleared. And that's the way it's going to be. So you will have 1 week to finish the content that's given every week. I mean, it is available to you. It just you will get the instruction that finish this one, and we'll have the Q&A on these topics in the next week. So I think that model is the most successful model we have seen in past, and this helps a lot. Many people basically, are able to learn really well. So utilize the weekend sessions in getting your doubts cleared, because it's easy to, it's easy that to just teach in a class. It's hard to clear the doubts, and we are trying to do that. There are so many companies who have the content. You have YouTube full of content, but what we are providing is, number one, we are providing the guided work, like on the lab, so that guided projects are there, guided assessments are there, and guided auto assessments are there. And on top of it, we are providing the Q&A session every week. So that's how you can utilize these classes. And there is a question, there are quite a few questions. I'll just go through them. Will PG data science be worth it for a non-engineering graduate to get started in the field of data science as a fresher? So it depends. So I'll tell you. So it's a good question, very good question. Thanks for asking. The thing is that PG in data science is good for a bit senior engineer. Okay. The data science that we have is a fairly deep dive course. Okay. It includes machine learning, normal analytics, Python, and everything that is require you to get up to the speed. And it also includes basics of neural network, and then it gets into the data engineering. Okay, so usually I would, if you are a bit senior engineer, or okay, let me put it this way. If you are in computer science, if you are, let's say, a graduate who has done a computer science, in that case, I would recommend PG in data science. If you are from different branch than computer science and you do not wish to get into the computer science jobs, then I would say that you should take the PG certificate in deep learning or AI. That will be the better choice. If you are in planning to do a computer engineering or computer science jobs, then you should choose either PG in data science or PG certificate in MLOps. Okay. I hope I was able to answer your question. The next question is, can we go for research in data science after doing this course? Yes. I think Professor Raksha can answer this question better.
Yeah, so it's a very good question. Why it's a good question? Because actually the course is having a lot of material collected from the research work only. So all latest deep architectures which have been recently reported in the publications, in the form of publications or blogs, the results with these architectures are covered in our content in our course. Okay, so once if you are following the course very genuinely, very religiously, you will start getting a thinking of a researcher, because we are already using the data sets which are available publicly and they have been used for research purpose, and we are using the architectures. It's not only the deep neural network or traditional machine learning algorithms. We are covering all the latest architectures which are reported till 2020 or probably 2000, which are very recently reported. So these are novel architectures which are still part of research. So if you are going through that mathematically, conceptually, and theoretically also, and then we are doing implementation also, you will get into research. You will start getting the feel that I have already gone into research. Okay, so once you have built this kind of base, you will be able to apply this on the new data set. You will be able to apply your knowledge of the machine learning or deep neural networks on the new data set, and you will be able to obtain the state-of-the-art results. Okay, so that's the next step. If you are very genuinely involved in the course, you have already started doing the research, because the course content is like that. Okay, so and another thing is that if you are after doing the course also, you are interested in research in the form of a degree. For example, you want to go for further studies like PhD in a particular topic, on a particular topic using machine learning or deep learning, then this course provides you the complete base to start your PhD. Okay, you can even speed up your PhD if you are doing this course if you are following the course as it is designed. Okay, so if you are interested in further studies, you can apply anywhere in top universities anywhere in the world, and this course will provide you the base to crack the examination, to crack the interview, and then further pursue the studies. Okay, so you can choose IIT Roorkee itself. In fact, I'll encourage you to join IIT Roorkee, because that is good for our department, our institute. And we are looking for such candidates who are having this kind of background, the kind of content we have in our course. Okay, so we are looking for these kind of candidates who are having this kind of background. So I will encourage you to come for IIT Roorkee again, or any other IIT in India or top universities across the world. And this course will definitely provide you enough base which is required to be a thinker, or having a thinking with the research kind of mindset.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for comprehensive answer. And this is, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. This was a very good answer. Another question is, what's the average time needed for MLOps program each week? I work full time, so I want to get a feel for it. Good question, Ashwin. So the right, MLOps is essentially the DevOps and the machine learning. And what we're also planning to do is we are going to complement right. I think what we're going to do is we'll complement the course with the data engineering as well. So what we are seeing is that many people want to learn data engineering and MLOps in all. So we are going to include that. Now, coming back to the number of hours that are needed from you. So the entire course expects you to at least devote 5 to 6 hours every week. And every week that you have to devote, meaning 1 hour a day. And that should be more than enough for the course. Is that good enough, Professor Aksha, as per your expectation?
So the machine learning and the deep learning is like very vast and deep subjects. So as you said, 6 hours are more than enough to cover the content which we are providing. That's true. So you can get the content from the lectures, but in case you are able to take out more time from your schedule, then I will encourage you for that, because there is no limit of thinking. Machine learning is such a field where it requires thinking from the researcher side, from the developer side, who is pursuing it. Okay, so that cannot be given by the instructor. Instructor can give you the fundamental knowledge of the algorithms or how to implement it, and these are the types of data sets. So he can tell you this only. But the background knowledge which is required as a thinker or as a researcher, that you have to develop, and that requires more time. So it's like a skill, developing a skill. So as we pursue any skill, whether it's like playing an instrument or doing any sports, it requires as much time as much you can devote. Okay, so this is true with machine learning also.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a very good answer. So a question is, will you accept payment from my employer instead of me? Yes, of course, that's not a problem. Okay, that's not a problem. And is there any company linked with IIT Roorkee? So we are Cloudex Lab. We are the ones who are basically doing the platform part and also providing the industry perspective on every topic. And right, a question is how without GATE I can do PG in data science in such a big institution like IIT. So this is not an MTech. For MTech you have to do GATE. All right, this is an executive PG certificate program. And is scholarship available for students also? Yes, Jagan. Yes, that's scholarship is available for students also. A question from Ashwin is, will we be discussing concepts such as Databricks, AWS SageMaker? Yes. So as part of the course, we will give you the complimentary course that we have done with, let's say, okay, this is a good question. Let me take a little more deep dive. Okay, so when it comes to learning, right, learning technologies, one must focus on generalizable skills. Okay, a skill that is generalizable. Okay, like for example, if I learn SAP's a particular package, will my skill be generalizable? Answer is no. If I learn how does databases work, that's a generalizable skill. How does SQL work? That's a generalizable skill. Similarly, when it comes to machine learning, understanding the algorithms, understanding how to optimize them, understanding how to build an end-to-end project, that is a generalizable skill. Now, whether it's AWS, whether it's right, Azure, whether it's GCP, all of these stand on top of what is the fundamental sciences. Okay, the same machine learning concepts could be applied in applied in AWS, GCP, everywhere. Okay, same ideas on pre-training, neural network, and so on. Similarly, Like, for example, take a case of, say, machine learning ideas. Machine learning can be done using scikit-learn, could be done using R, using some other tools. But the core fundamental ideas on what's a decision tree, what's a FCVM, what's a random forest, how does dimensionality reduction work, all of those things are common in all. Now, coming back to the next one, let's say deep learning, for example. So in case of deep learning, the TensorFlow or PyTorch are fungible, or you can say are replaceable, right? But your understanding of neural network, how does backpropagation work, how does convolutional neural network work, how does recurrent neural network work, how does reinforcement learning work, all of these knowledge is kind of generalizable. Okay, so similarly, when it comes to, let's say, data engineering, what is most important in data engineering is understanding how to break your logic so that it can be run parallelly on multiple computers. Whether you use Databricks, whether you use database Spark, whether you use Hadoop Spark, whether you use some other technology like MongoDB distributed computing or Kafka MapReduce. So everywhere, the idea is to learn the generalizable skill, because technology come and go. Hadoop came and went, like lots of Hadoop technologies are no longer discussed, but that doesn't mean that a lot of things that we learned from the architectures of Hadoop are applicable everywhere. So that's our focus, that you learn something that is going to be applicable, right? There could be one extreme saying, hey, new technologies are coming, so we should not learn anything, right? The other extreme could be that oh, every now and then, right, new technologies are coming and we just pick one technology and we become very specific to that, and that technology goes obsolete and we are obsolete. So either of the extreme is not right. What is right is we need to figure out what is worth learning, and that's what we have figured out in this course, in PG certificate course, that what is worth learning, what is that generalizable skill which is valid over a period of time, what is valid across the various frameworks, across the various platforms, across the various companies. All right. So that's the main idea behind these courses, that learn the generalizable skills. All right. Wonderful question. And I hope I was able to answer your question. And Professor Akshay, you want to add something to what I said?
I think that was perfectly fine.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. And all right. Okay. So yes. Right. To be specific, Ashwin, that we will be right, in case of the data science course, we will be going with the Spark in more details. All right. SageMaker, we are not yet there, but I mean, SageMaker is just API that I can bet that you can do it in a couple of hours. That's all. Probably we'll add one project there. Okay. Question was, dream was to do PG in IIT Roorkee, sir, without gate. How can I do that? Just wanted to enjoy the PG life in IIT. Okay. So PG life is anyway not there in COVID time, right, in IIT. So it's everything is anyway remote. So yeah. So I think the PG certificate is a good way to learn from professors of IIT, as well as getting associated with IIT. And there's a question from Ashwin. Question from Ashwin is, this is a question for Dr. Aksha. I am a principal data scientist working in the US. Are there opportunities to do remote PhD from IIT Roorkee after I finish the course? Okay, okay. You want to take it, Professor Aksha?
Remote PhD. So there are programs for professionals. If you check the IIT Roorkee website for PhD admission, in fact on IIT Roorkee website itself, if you go to SRIC website, SRIC IIT Roorkee website, and so there are two modes. Either you go through SRIC websites or you go through the PhD admission web page of IIT Roorkee, there is admission for doctoral programs. Can you please go to the third link? So there is admission for professionals. So under PM, yeah, professional experience scheme. Okay. So in if you are having like more than 5 years, I think we need to check the rules. It's around 5 years with if you are MTech, MArch or candidate with BTech with at least 14 years of experience. So this is one of the way without appearing for gate examination. Okay, so based on your experience, you can apply, and it will be separate interviews. You will not have to compete with the regular PhD candidates. Okay, another category is that you can apply for part-time PhD candidacy, but without getting any advantage of your experience. So in that case, you will have to have a GATE scorecard. Okay, because only then you will be shortlisted, because that time you will be considered with the regular PhD candidates. But your type of pursuing the degree will be different. That will be part-time PhD. Okay, so if you qualify the interview and one of the professor is like satisfied with your interview and he or she wants to take you, in that case and he's open for, because you are already data scientist, so you can get advantage of that. You are having research kind of involvement where you can pursue the research, because in part-time PhD, if you are doing it remotely, that actually matters. You should have involvement. So we are having candidates from ISRO or DRDO, because they are having research labs. So they are working remotely because they are having research labs. So they are pursuing their research from their own labs, and whenever there is examination. So now currently it's COVID situation. So everyone, all PhD candidates are working remotely. But specifically, if you want to continue the remote status for the entire PhD period, so you can go for this if you are having enough experience. Or you can wait for 3-4 more years to come into this category, the experienced based, extensive professional experience scheme.
Yeah, because I'm guessing that if somebody is a principal data scientist and working in the US, so I'm assuming
The
that
principal data scientist should be having good experience.
I think he would be eligible. So
there is an option for remote PhD. That's not a problem, but there should be some faculty who is open for this position. So there are seats, or there are openings always in all the departments, including computer science department of IT.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This was, I think this is what was needed. And there is one more question that would I get the alumni status of IIT Roorkee after doing this course? So, okay, let me try to answer this. Okay, so I had a discussion with IIT Roorkee on this. So IIT Roorkee's question was that what does it mean to be, all right, what is expected? So they're okay with the executive alumni status, but alumni status, they keep it for the courses where it's a residency program, when you go to IIT Roorkee and attend a course there, not for the executive program. For executive, it will be executive alumni. That is the main idea. Okay, so yeah, so the alumni status is as in executive alumni status is there, but not the alumni status. Okay, I want to keep it extremely clear. And right, I think like people like me and Virdi, right, who have gone to IIT Roorkee in the campus, right, like they will not be comfortable with the alumni status to the executive alumni courses. Okay, so executive alumni is okay, but not the regular alumni. So that's the discussion I had with IIT Roorkee. All right. So thank you so much for a wonderful set of questions. please feel free to let us know and reach out to us at reachus@CloudxLab, reach us at CloudxLab. And if you have any doubts or about the course, you basically reach us at cloudxlab.com. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Aksha. Thank you, Makan. These were wonderful set of discussion, and I hope most of the audience would be really benefited. And I'm really happy to see a great audience today, and I hope that people would be able to take the advantage of this PG certificate kind of course. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye. Thank you.